Yo YouTube, welcome back. As you guessed by the title of this video, why am I in Hawaii? Why am I chilling, taking it easy in January in a pool in paradise for free? So, shopping done. Gonna go for a little dip in here. How beautiful is that? So this is roasting for me. For Scott it's quite cold. He's used to Scottsdale, Arizona, but for me this is absolutely perfect. Nice and warm. To be able to do this in January and it be this warm is just incredible. Yeah, so it is pretty awesome here, not gonna lie. Right, sitting down with some coffees, the man himself, Scott Jones. Introduce yourself. Tell everyone who you are.
I'm Scott, obviously, Jones. Living in Hawaii now. I make my living or call my career as an auctioneer.
The hot auctioneer.
The hot auctioneer.
Hashtag hot auctioneer.
Yeah, created that
on Instagram.
Kind of as a joke. I was in Scottsdale. It was like 120 degrees, getting ready for a huge car auction, and I just said, "Hey, I'm just the hot auctioneer," and it kind of stuck.
It stuck.
And so I just carry that along now as kind of like a hashtag. But yeah, no, I went through some bad times with a tumor they found in my kidney. I was having some problems with my body, and a lot of things were just out of whack. And after the surgery and a few months back, I wanted to get back in shape and did some searching online. I had done the in-person personal trainer thing. It just really wasn't for me. So I started doing some research, and I wanted to find somebody who had a little knowledge, at least on the nutritional side, that for cancer survivors. And obviously Chris, working on his doctorate, stood out to me. And then I just went through a series of email interviews between him and about 3 others, pretty prominent individuals online. And after 2 or 3 communications back and forth, I gave Chris a go, and here we are, a little over almost a year and a half now.
18 months. Yeah, 18 months.
I feel like I'm in the best shape I've ever been in my life. I still got a long ways to go, but I feel like I got somehow another second chance, and so I look at life differently, I live life differently, and so I'm just I'm blessed to be here and having coffee with Chris.
That's it. As Scott said, it's been about 18 months. I'm actually going to add in the transformation photo that Scott has already done. So Scott was eating 1 meal a day, wasn't really eating. Obviously after going through issues with cancer, coming out through the other end, obviously a lot of medication and things like that, had put on a lot of excess weight. So the first thing that we wanted to do, and I say this to all my clients, but I said this to Scott in particular, is my goal is not to get you in shape. My goal is to get you a metabolism that you will only be in shape. And I feel we did that, and we managed to increase the amount of food that you were eating probably 3 times over at one point, compared to before, eating frequent meals, got him in incredible shape. Right now we're at the end of like a growing phase. Scott is still in way better shape than before, but it is at that point now where we are just about to cut for Scott's photo shoots. Shoots, plural. Shoots. Who knows? But so that's kind of where we're at right now. And I think, I suppose, what, 12, 16 weeks from now is kind of the time frame that we want to get Scott in the best shape of his life again. Better than before, better than we got him last time. But often that growing period for someone who's lost weight, who has maybe a negative relationship with food and a negative relationship with the weighing scales, can be quite difficult. And I think it's fair to say that you struggled a bit mentally, but you got through it, right?
Yeah,
it was just something different for you.
I did. Well, it was all about the number on the scales for me, and it was all about looking at how to diet and how to get in shape in a not so good way. So You know, I went from having a lot of excess body fat to dropping down. I think we got as low as like 178.
But you were like what, 240 after your, was it 240?
Yeah, about 230 actually.
230, so you lost what, 50 pounds to get to that point. But I think the important thing to note here is even at that stage, you can only diet so much, so far at any one point. And it was at that point that we decided that we needed to increase calories, you know, go through a little bit of a growing phase, but most importantly, a metabolism building phase. So
for me, when I first started the meal plan, I literally would start my second meal and I wouldn't finish it in time enough to start
the
my
next
third
one.
meal, because it was so much food. And eventually I got used to that, and you know, even when I was at my greatest weight loss, I was still eating hordes of food.
Absolutely.
Just,
absolutely.
So it was what I was eating that made the difference, and then working out in the gym, and then we started putting muscle back on and replaced, and started kind of building. So I mean, one of the things I said to Chris early on was like, one of these days I'm going to be able to stand beside you with my shirt off, because, you know, for a long time I was embarrassed and ashamed to have my shirt off. And I'm sitting here today with him at the pool without my...
With our shirt off.
You train yourself once you've been in a status of being overweight for a long period of time. You just prepare yourself for the worst. You just know what's coming. And so when you get down as lean as I was, where I had abs and all those things, I was really excited about the way I looked physically. And then I start bulking, that fear comes back that, you know, I'm regressing or digressing back to where I was. But ultimately you stop and you check yourself and you say, look, all the food I'm still eating today and all the things that I'm able to do, and my metabolism is keeping my body pretty much.
And I don't like the word bulking, I use the word growth. And the reason I use the word growth is actually nothing to do with muscle. To me, for someone that's been in Scott's situation, and very similar to a lot of the clients on the program, it's a mental growth, it's an emotional growth, it's a growth of trust with, you know, yourself, obviously, you know, the coach, but most importantly with food, and the process is taking you where you need to go. But to be able to have a stronger relationship with food is what's important, and backing yourself and knowing that, you know, carbs are not the enemy, putting on weight is not the enemy, you know, once you know what it is that you're actually trying to achieve. So, well,
to learn how to let food be your friend instead of your go-to, you know, when you're depressed or when you're struggling, and you use it as, you know, as a healing tool, and obviously it's having an adverse effect on you, but to realize that when you struggle, or when you're in that mental depression, or you're in some kind of state of flux, that, you know, that you can rely on that food to actually help you heal, but do it in a better way. So you're not relying on those carbs and that, you know, that gorging and just kind of overeating, and
then going through stages of that gorging to then, you know, abstaining from food, doing an incredible amount of cardio, and then yo-yo dieting back and forth and back and forth.
Yeah, and
the title of this video has probably got you guys thinking, why am I in Hawaii? How have I got here? How have I managed to, just a normal January, to work from anywhere in the world, and I happen to be working from Hawaii, currently poolside. So no better person to ask than Scott. Scott, why am I here?
Well, you know, our conversation started early on about what my goals were, and that was to kind of do some modeling of some sort. I'd always wanted to do that, but never had the confidence. And so I got the opportunity myself. My career brought me to Hawaii, and when it was such a short decision, you know, I got to thinking that, you know, I was going to get to a certain point, a certain plateau, and I just wanted that little push, that little extra. And so I felt like it would be advantageous to me to offer to Chris to, once I got here, to strategically plan a time for him to come out, and I would pay for that trip here and host him and cover his expenses as he could do some personal one-on-one with me to get me ready for, you know, this photo shoot that's taken a lot of courage for me. And so the confidence that he's instilling me was worth my investment to him, and I truly call it an investment, the cost it took to get him here and to keep him here, to get me to my goal. It's just that taking it to that next level, taking it to that next step. And so you know, we worked together anyway, and for him, the weather was not the greatest in Ireland and home. And so I mean,
January.
I was here
What do you guys think? To be able to come here in January? Yeah, I think it was an easy decision.
So yeah, really the discussion was, hey, you know, you ultimately Skype from, you know, your office, your gym, your home, or wherever, and like, why not come here and do your Skype?
Do the exact same thing.
Exact same thing here in Paradise, and in the meanwhile, you know, spend an hour or two with me a day and have a place to train, and so it's worked out great so far. And
only halfway.
Yeah, only halfway.
It hasn't kicked me out yet.
No.
So I think, I mean, that's the beauty of the program for me. Is I speak to Scott, or I speak to the rest of the guys in the program more than my friends. I mean, I Skype these guys once a week, and you know, you build up a really strong relationship, as you can imagine. If you Skype someone for, you know, 20 minutes, half an hour every week for 18 months, you know, talking about serious life-changing things and helping people on their path, that, you know, to be able to have a relationship with someone that, you know, is strong and long-lasting, and I've no doubt about it. Like, after the shoot, you know, I'm sure Scott will go on and do his own thing. He's more than educated enough now, and I think that's the beauty of the program, is you don't have to stay on it forever. It's you know, teach yourself, you know, with your metabolism, your body, knowing how to structure food, you know, for the rest of your life, and I feel like Scott's, you know, probably in a position to do that already. This is just the last push for us. So, you know, in a sense, this is work, yes, but to me, it's, you know, spending some time with a really, really good friend, and having the luxury of being able to do it out here. So it's absolutely incredible, and I'm massively grateful. I probably haven't said that enough to Scott yet, how grateful I am to have this opportunity to be here. And I hope he's getting his money worth, so we'll see. But we've been killing him in the gym, I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's been next level. It's been next level being able to be here, and I think to push you through it is been pretty awesome.
It's, you know, having your mentor, your friend, oftentimes I've called you my hero, but just to have you there, just morally, and it definitely I feel like is towards the end of the journey as far as
coach and client, but yeah, you know, it's only the start.
I definitely think that the friendship and the brotherhood will go way beyond this. But you know, you being here in the end for me, just to take me to that final objective and that goal, to put myself in probably the one-time leanest shape I'll ever be, and really not a need to want to stay there, but just an accomplishment,
sense of achievement.
A sense of achievement.
Yeah.
To,
but I think the most important thing that you know, the biggest satisfaction I get as a coach is to see the way you. The biggest satisfaction I get now is seeing you talk about food, and you know, the way you think about food, and you know, the way your relationship with food and your knowledge with food, and you know, that to me is something that you can't put a price on. That I really don't feel you can. I think it's that education process that, you know, not just that you've done, we've both done. You know, I've learned along the way just as much as you have. So, you know, that's something that is going to stay with you long after the program.
Well, it shows me that I can eat, and I don't need to be afraid to eat, you know, and I can look forward to making those right choices and those healthy decisions. And then if I go off a little bit, that I really don't get the guilt that I grew up with my entire life, and you know, I don't feel down upon myself. I can actually go out and enjoy a dessert, or I can enjoy a couple days away from the gym and just
a few tequilas in Mexico. Yeah,
just a few tequilas, which has helped me actually overcome, you know, the want and the drinking of alcohol and stuff too. So this has really been a total transformation, not only for me physically, but mentally and lifestyle. So it's been a blast. It's been a good ride. Looking for the next chapter.